So what is this crazy thing? Well, it's called an L fence. It's used on the table saw and it can be set up to put onto the bandsaw as well. So why do you need one in your shop? Today I'm going to show you just how simple it is to be able to make one and to be able to use it. Now this does not take a lot of material. I grabbed a couple of pieces of leftover cut-offs from another project, and this is 1/2 inch plywood and it is about 2 feet long. Originally I was planning on doing this the width of the saw itself, but it's really not that important. The width of this material is 4 inches. It can be a little bit wider, but certainly I would not want to make it any smaller. This is what I have, and this is what I'm going to use. The other scrap material is just cut to length on the miter saw, and the width of this strip is approximately 2 inches. Now I take this piece of material and line it up to the back of the table saw, and I want to be able to cut this rectangle opening right where the saw blade is. Now this allows you to be able to remove the small pieces of cutoff out of the way of the blade. Now when you do this, make sure you turn the saw blade off and the blade is completely stopped before you put your hand in there to remove those pieces. But this allows you to clear that area out without having to change the setup of your L fence. And I made this slot about 1.5 inches wide, and there's plenty of room to be able to get my fingers down and remove the different drop-off pieces. Now again, safety first, please remember, turn the saw off and the blade completely stop before you remove those pieces. The next step is to mark and lay out for the 2 holes where the clamps are going to be used. Now I'm coming off 3/4 inch off of the edge of the material, and then I'm going to basically split the difference between the end of the material and this rectangle slot. Doesn't have to be exact, close is good enough. To drill the 2 holes, I'm going to use a Forstner bit. Now this Forstner bit is the largest one that I have, and quite frankly I did not look to see the size of it. I believe it's 2 1/8 inches. I have the fence set up so that the edge of the blade will be right on that 3/4 inch line. Of course, the center line gives me the exact location to be able to drill this hole. Now I like using the Forstner bit because it gives a very clean cut and minimum tear out. I also have the dust collection on the fence, and it's picking up at least some of the chips. It's not 100%, but it definitely helps. Now I'll just move down and cut the second hole, and with the same setup, I don't have to change anything at all. The edge of that bit is going to be right on that 3/4 inch line, and I'll make the cut. Once this is done, this is going to allow me to be able to clamp this board to the table saw fence. Now I also like to clean up as I go. Having this fence set up with the dust collection, anything that's left over, I can actually just scoop it into the slot, and the vacuum will take it away. That is actually a very nice feature, and I like that. And this also helps to be able to keep the shop clean, because I do clean up as I go. And this is the only time that I'm going to need this drill press for this particular job. I want to extend the lines down from the edge of this circle down to that 3/4 inch line. Basically what I want to be able to do is take this over to the scroll saw, and I want to be able to cut it so that the bottom of this is flat. That's going to make it where the clamps will be able to hold on to this a lot easier than with that round circle. As you can tell, this is a very old scroll saw, but quite frankly it works really well. I'm going to slip this blade down through this hole and then reattach it to the scroll saw, and that way I'll be able to cut out the material that I need to be able to remove to be able to make that flat edge to have a real good clamping surface. The other thing that I really like about a scroll saw is that it gives very clean cuts with minimum tear out. Now even though this scroll saw is very old, it's very useful in the shop. Now if you don't have a scroll saw, not a big deal. You can do the same cut with a simple jigsaw. Now this board is actually longer than the throat of the scroll saw itself, so I need to make an adjustment. This saw actually has the ability to change the orientation of the blade itself so that I can make this cut. Now, before anybody says anything, I know that there are blades available that you can cut from any direction, but I don't have any of those blades. So I just simply need to change the orientation and the blade itself, and then continue on and make this cut. And quite frankly, it only takes a matter of seconds to be able to change the orientation of this blade and reattach it. The next step is to be able to attach this small strip onto the back of it. That helps to support the whole entire jig. Now, the easiest way to have a line from the front to the back is just to use the table saw fence itself and score that line right on there. Now, this is not quite dead center. This is actually offset just enough to be able to put this piece on and have it centered. Now, having said that, does this really need to be in the dead center of this piece of wood? Well, the actual answer is not really, but it does need to have this support block in place. So I'm going to add a bead of glue to this, and I'm also going to use the nail gun and shoot this in place. Now, the glue itself will be able to create a strong bond. The nails will be able to basically act as a clamp while this glue dries. The pencil line that's on this piece of wood will give me a good alignment. So I'll line this up with that pencil line, put it in place, then I'm going to put one nail into the end. That'll actually hold it in place. Then I can flip it over and put the additional nails in to be able to hold this in place. So at this point, I have a nail at each end, and that gives me the good alignment. Now, because this is 1/2-inch plywood, it's very easy to be able to miss when you put the nails into this. So I draw a pencil line right down the center line of that board. That gives me the alignment so that, given everything, I should not miss and have that nail pop out on the inside. The other thing, I'm marking where these holes are so I don't inadvertently shoot a nail into that opening and have to remove those. So this is just a little extra precaution to make sure that it all works out and I don't have to spend the extra time of removing nails and putting nails back in. So I think this is just one of the good practice that I think everybody should do, and I think that saves time in the long run. So now let's start using this jig. So if you don't have a joiner and you can't fix these edges, you have a piece of wood that has the jagged edges, you have the splinters on it. Well, this is a real easy way to be able to, in essence, create a joiner, if you will, with the table saw. So I'm going to take the wood itself with a little scrap material on top of it and put that onto the table saw. I'm going to slide this fence down to the very end as I had designed it, and then I'll take the clamps and clamp it in place. And all you need is the 2 clamps, one for each of these holes, and that's going to secure it just fine. Now, that little thin piece of plywood gives a little bit of extra space between the material that you're cutting and the jig itself. So at this point, the height of the jig is taken care of, and the saw blade height is taken care of as well, because that will give you enough room to cut all the way through the material and not cut into the jig. Next, we need to line the jig to the outer edge of the table saw. Easiest way to do that is to use a little piece of scrap wood, and that's going to be able to be right on to the teeth of the saw blade. So if you look at it from this angle, I'm going to put the scrap piece of wood right against the saw blade, and then I'm going to slide the fence right up to it. Now, you want to make sure that the fence barely touches this wood, and that will give the perfect alignment between the jig itself and the outer edge of the saw blade. And then lock the fence in place, and everything is set up. You're ready now to be able to cut the material. Looking at the saw blade itself, you can see that the outer edge of that tooth is flush with the plywood jig, and the height is just below the jig itself. So this is the setup that you actually want to be able to do to be able to properly cut this material. I'm going to use the glue and the tape method to take a scrap piece of material that has a good straight edge and attach it to the piece of wood that I'm cutting. Now I'm using the STARBOND medium glue to be able to put this on with, and of course I'm using the STARBOND accelerator basically to be able to create an instant bond. Then press it in place right onto the wood, and that glue and that tape will be able to securely keep this little scrap piece of wood that creates the straight edge necessary to be able to cut a nice straight edge on this material. Now this is one of the safest ways to cut material with the table saw that exists, because your hands are never even close to the blade at all. This scrap material that we glued onto the wood rides right along the L fence and be able to create that perfect straight cut. When you finish cutting, this just pops off, and now you can see the results. This gives you a perfectly straight, smooth cut that really, quite frankly, looks amazing. So if you don't have a joiner, this is an excellent alternative. The small piece of scrap that was left behind can easily be removed from underneath the fence. Let's say you have an odd-shaped piece of plywood to begin with, and you need to be able to make a part. Now I'm just going to use this line because it's already there, but let's say that part had a line that went through here, and then maybe back down in this direction, and then over in like that. Just some kind of a strange part that we can cut out real easily. Now if I just try to set this up and cut it on the bandsaw, it would be difficult. You wouldn't get a straight line. If I just tried to set it up on the table saw without the L fence, again, these angles would be a nightmare to be able to set up. But with the L fence, super easy, and I'll show you that right now. And what I want to do is set the height. I'm going to put this little thin piece of plywood down and slide that under, and that actually looks real good. So that's going to be just fine. Now I can raise the blade up. I already have the blade to this edge right here, so that's already set. So I don't need to set that again. Now all I need to do now is just use the glue and tape method and put a little block on here to be able to act as my guide. You just use one piece of tape. We'll put it down right there. I'll put another piece of tape right here. We'll use a little bit of glue. Doesn't take much at all. Spray the accelerator and put it right on that line. Push it down. Hold it for just a few seconds. And now we're ready to be able to cut that. We'll get everything out of the way. Just like that, that line is cut. This is trash. And now we'll set up and cut the next one. I'll repeat this same process now for each of the sides, and in a matter of just literally minutes, I'll have this part cut out. Now I'm just going to go ahead and speed up the camera because this, quite frankly, gets boring real quick, because all you're doing is doing the exact same steps and repeating them over and over until that piece is cut out. And this will give you an extremely accurate piece. And remember, it takes very little glue, very little tape to be able to hold this, because quite frankly, there's very little pressure that's actually being applied to this glue and the tape. So now we have our completed part that is very, very accurate. But what happens if you need more than one part? Well, this now can become a template. Now let's say I needed to make a number of these oddly shaped pieces. Well, I can put it right down here and make that work. So I'll put a piece of the tape right there. Now I have tape on the template, so I'll add the glue, flip it over, and glue it down to my piece of wood. So you can see the template itself now becomes the guide, and there's no additional tape or adjustments needed. All we need to do is just run this through the saw and cut out the part. If you had multiple parts like this to be able to cut, you can see just how much of a time saver that having this jig would make, because you can duplicate these in a matter of just less than a minute to be able to make these cuts. This also can serve as a tapering jig. So let's say I just have a small piece of wood and I need to put a taper on it. Well, I can take my straight edge, draw the taper exactly the way that I want it, and then I'll use the exact same method, glue and tape method, with a scrap piece of wood on there, and I can cut each side to be able to create the taper. So now you have 4 really good reasons. You can use this as the tapering jig. You can use it as a means to be able to cut out very oddly shaped parts and then use that part as a template to be able to cut multiple parts. And you can use this if you don't have a joiner. I can't think of a more useful jig in your shop than having this L-fence. So you can see having an L-fence in your shop is really a handy tool to have, because this will actually eliminate the need for a joiner should you not have one, and it'll clean up those edges on those very rough boards at times. And if you need to be able to taper a piece of wood, you can do it with this setup. And if you need to be able to cut out an unusual shaped part, you can do that as well, and then use that part as a template and be able to do this on multiple different parts and have them very accurate. So this L-fence is an extremely useful tool to have in the shop, and I should have shown this to you a long time ago. Now, if you like this video, by all means, give me a thumbs up, and don't forget, hit that little subscribe button down there below so that you can be notified on the different video. But more importantly, I need you to leave me a comment. What type of methods do you use to be able to make those unusual parts, do your tapers, and be able to replace the joiner with the table saw, all with one simple jig? Let me know what you're using. Are you using an L-fence, or are you using something else? So I look forward to seeing you in the next video. So take a look at these projects up here. I think it'll help you out in your shop as well. So for now, I'm going to say goodbye to everyone, and I'll see you real soon in the next video.